Hello, my mathematicians. Do you remember last week you learned a brand new word? And I'm wondering if you remember what it is. If you don't remember what it is, the word was equivalent. And then we talked about what equivalent meant. And we gave a hint that it sounded kind of like another math word. Raise your hand if you think you know it. Equivalent, equal. And remember, when things are equal, they are the same. And we also learned how to play a little game last week where we had 10 pennies. So I have 10 pennies here. And if I were to hide some of those pennies under a hand, you were able to figure out how many pennies are under my hand. So right now I want you to look. I see 4 showing, and I want you to show me with your fingers how many are under my hand. Now remember, we gave a tip. If you need to use your hands, you can. And you could tuck under however many pennies you see. So right here I see 4. So if I tuck under 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers, I have how many left? 6. So let's see if that's right. Let's see if we have 6 there. 2, 4, 6. You did it. Let's do it again. I still have 10. What number equals 10? If there's 3 showing, show me with your fingers as soon as you get it. Some of you are getting it right now, I can tell. 7. Let's see if that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Great job. I'm going to do another one. Let's see what I've got here. All right, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 showing. What number goes with 7? Hopefully you know this one because we just did it, but if I tuck under 7 fingers, I've got 3 left. Did you get 3? 1, 2, 3. Oh, let me do one more because you guys are getting good. Remember, show me with your fingers. Okay. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to tuck my fingers for this one. How many are under my other hand? Yep, you're right. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that penny game is a lot of fun. And I told you that if you can learn numbers to 10, your math sense, the way we think about numbers, is going to be so much stronger. So we're actually going to be learning another game today that I want to show you. And you don't have to do this right now. You'll have some time when we go into our breakout rooms. But you have some cards that we sent home that look like this. And they were stapled together. And so what we're going to have you do is we're going to have you cut out those cards. And you don't need the one, that block of nothing. So I'm going to kind of, you can see really quickly. And this is a game that we play called Fish for 10. And I know you've probably seen it in the math website. You may have played it last year in first grade. It is such a great game. It just helps us with our numbers. If you've ever played the game Go Fish before, where you're looking for a match, so like if you're playing Go Fish with your family and you have a 3, you might say, does anybody else have a 3? That's kind of how we play the game, only we're not going to fish for our match. We are going to fish for what will get us to 10, just like what we were playing in that penny game a second ago. So I'm going to go ahead and keep cutting these out. And again, you'll have time to do this later. And I'll give you some time when you're in a breakout room by yourself to get those down. But I'm going to go ahead and cut, and I was able to cut them kind of together. If you need a grown-up to help you with this cutting part, maybe you could do some or they could do some. But of course you could do it all by yourself if you wanted to. Okay, so I'm almost done cutting out all my cards. Okay. And the next thing you do to play this game is once you have it, you can turn them all face down. And in fact, if you wanted to color on them, because sometimes you can see through them a little bit, that's okay. And you can play this with a friend, or you can play it with a grown-up, or you can just try and figure out if you can fish yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and take a number. Okay, 4. If I had a 4 in my hand, what would I need to ask for? So I have to say, what would go with 4 to make 10? What number goes with it? 6. So you might say to your friend, oh, do you have a 6? Oh, that one's a 9, isn't it? And if they did have a 6, they would give it to you. And if they didn't, you'd say go fish, and you'd go fish. And you'd say, oh, didn't get it, it's your turn. So let me try and play this. We'll pretend here with somebody else. So I might get 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They might get 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you have your pond in the middle. And I'm going to look to see first if I have any matches that go together. Oh, I've got a lot. What would go with 8? I have a lot of 8s. Can you think of it? Goes with 8. 2. You're right. 2 goes with 8. And I have a 9. So what would I need for 9? I would need a 1. And what number goes with 4? That's a trickier one. You might need to use your fingers for it. What goes with 4? 6. So I could pick any of these numbers and ask a friend. And by the way, this is a game you could play with more than 2 people. So if you have a brother or sister who wants to play, you can. So just to pretend, let's see what the other person would have. They had a 10. What goes with 10? 0. A 6. Another 6. I did not shuffle these very well, did I? A 6 and a 1. So let's see which ones can go together. See if I can kind of get these up. So we said the 1 and the 9. That makes 10, so we could put those together. A 6 and a 4 would go together. Are there any other matches that I see? I don't see any. So let's play and see what else we can find here. Oh, 2. What goes with, oops, there you can see it a little better. What goes with a 2? You know? An 8. So you could practice just putting these numbers together. Any practice that you get with these sums of 10, whether you're playing the penny game, whether you want to play Go Fish, whether you want to lay them all out just like I did to get to 10, all of those things are going to help you be stronger, because the more you do things, the more you're going to remember. We've done the 6 a lot. Do you remember what goes with 6? 4. And eventually you're going to remember that, just like how you learned how to spell the once you really had to think about it. And now you don't think about it at all. You can just read it, T-H-E. So you're going to be able to work with sums of 10 today, either with the penny game, with this game, and making matches. And the other thing we're going to have you do today is get your journal out, and you're going to open up to page 5. And page 5, again, goes back to our missing numbers on our number line. So we've done a lot with number lines, and we've done a lot with our number scrolls. And if you picked up your newest stuff, you know you have more scroll paper, so you can make those scrolls even longer now. But the other thing you're going to do is you're going to do this page. So let's look at the directions first so we know what it is they're asking us to do. So it says place the numbers 1, 3, and 8 in the correct spots on the number line. Okay. Now, you could write in every number if you wanted to. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that would work because I just checked it, and each line makes 1. So you could do that, but instead of writing in every single number, what I want you to try to do is only write the numbers that they tell you to write today. So 1, where would 1 go? It would go right here. So I would write 1. And then it asks me to write 3. So I'm going to figure that out. 1, 2, 3. So 3 would go here, and then 8. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and start back at the 0 because I can make this faster. Because in math, what we always want the answer to be right, and then we want to be more efficient, which means we want to get the answer quicker. So instead of starting at 0, I'm going to start at 5, and I'm going to count up, because you all showed me that you could count on very easily by ones starting with other numbers. So let's start with 5, and then it would go 6, 7, 8. And then you're done with that number. So now for this one, they want you to place the numbers 23 and 26. So you're going to do just like I did up here, and you're going to write it down here. Now number 3 gets a little trickier because it says place the numbers 86 and 88 in the correct spots on the number line. So, but look at, they don't give you any of these little lines that the other one gave you. So what you could do is you have to kind of think about where those numbers would go. So like 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. So you can even feel like try to put in those little lines. And the good news is you've got an eraser. You're going to want to try to make them about evenly spaced, but once you put in your lines, then it's going to be easier to place those numbers. Okay? Let's look at number 4's directions really quick. Number 4 says to look at number line A and number line B. So here's number line A. Here's number line B. What do you notice about the distance between 32 and 33? So let's look at between 32 and 33 is like this. And between 32 and 33 is like this. Oops, I did it wrong. This or like this. What do you notice about that distance right here? What do you notice about it? And they want you to write with your words what you notice about that distance. And we talked about this is kind of the hard part because you got to try to put what you're thinking into words. So if I said to you, what do you notice about the distance between 32 and 33? I want you to write down whatever you would say out loud with your mouth. So that's what I want you to do for this page. So for today, you're going to be able to do page 5. I want you to do that first. Okay, and then when you finish up that page, you can do either the fish for, or the pennies to 10. You could do the fish for 10 with the math cards that you just made up. That choice is going to be yours. But we're going to be popping in today to ask you and see how those sums of 10 are going, because the faster we get those down, the more we're going to be able to do as mathematicians. So have a great day, have fun with this, and we will see you in your breakout rooms soon.